And here, back where we left off. Now, the length has estimated at 34.2 to 37.8 centimeters, 1.12 to 1.24 feet of its frontal appendages. Traditional size estimates that place the animal at around 1 meter, 3.3 feet long, but it is now considered unlikely based on body part ratio and the size of the largest frontal appendage. Anomalocaris use the two frontal appendages at the front of its head to seize and grapple with prey, consuming them with its disc-like mouth. Each appendage was lined with an intimidating array of ventral spines, while the mouth was completely with inwards pointing spikes for pulverizing food. The arthropod would have propelled itself through the water by undulating, and the flexible flaps of both sides of its body allowed it to swim with both direction and pace. Its head had two large stalk eyes, being one of the first animals to evolve them. Fossilized eyes from Australia show that Almacaris' compound eyes were 30 times more powerful than those of trilobites it lived with. One specimen had over 24,000 lenses in each eye, a resolution only rivaled by modern day dragonfly. Anomalocaris fossils are found in different continents, mostly in Burgess shell deposits from British Columbia, Canada. Other fossils of the arthropod, as well as related species from the Xinjiang biota in China and the Emu Bay shell of South Australia. In its day, the animal would have lived in the shallow tropical seas of the Cambrian period alongside a diverse range of animals, including Oilodeids, sorry for mispronouncing it, the arthropod Opabinia and Pikaia, and Milaquamimia and the Hallucigenia. The cathedral formation locality of the Burgess shell is thought to have been in shallow water on an extensive algae reef or carbonate platform, while the Stephen Formation locality may have sat in dimly lit light at the base of the underwater canyon. The Xinjiang biota was a delta environment rich in oxygen with higher sedimentation rates and major fluctuation in salinity. As a very early animal in the history of life, on our planet, Alamanocaris does not appear to have had complex behavior. It was shown spending most of its time searching for prey, which it would have done efficiently due to its advanced compound eyes. The particular Alamacar's featured seems to have been fairly slow-witted, unable to grasp an Oladites, even its superior agility, until it stopped to roll into a defensive position. The way Aluminacaris hunted is not exactly clear. Some have suggested that it used its frontal appendages to rock the prey back and forth until its rigid exoskeleton cracked under pressure, while more likely, possibly, a possibility that is it hunted free swimming soft body animals instead of trilobites. Due to the risk of damage of its appendages, partially healed wounds have been found on trilobite fossils, potentially evidence of predation by Aluminacaris, although it has been suggested that they were simply ingested and spat out. In the show, although it was addressed as the first apex predator, other predators have been found in the older Cambrian deposits than Aluminacaris, or appear at roughly the same time. Those that include Almedens and Megadection. Anthracosaurus is a genus of early amphibian that lived during the late Carboniferous period. It was a large semi-aquatic tetrapod and very successful predator during the age of amphibians, patrolling the waterways and swamps of North America and Europe. Ethicosaurus was an Anablomere, a group of specialized eel-like predators, and the descendant of the first lobe-fin fishes that crawled into land, whose fins eventually evolved into primitive limbs for its time. The amphibian was one of the largest land animals on Earth, measuring at 3 meters, 10 feet long. Its robust skull was about 14 to 17 inches, 1.2, 1.4 feet in length, with large teeth in its jaws and even on the roof of its mouth. The crown of the teeth measures from 5 to 23 millimeters. The teeth particular are shaped like massive cones with strongly marked grooves which are unlike the more slender teeth seen in other elaminors. The Anthracosaurus was as adapted in water as it was land, with a large newt-like tail and stocky arms and legs. It probably had thick skin to resist dissensions and would have actively explored the forests surrounding the water. Anthroposaur fossils were discovered in the Scottish Coal Mesozoic group in the United Kingdom. Other remains come from England, while other species was uncovered in a diamond coal mine in Linton, Ohio. The amphibian lived in swampy freshwater environment with mangrove-like trees growing around the areas. Coral forests were the most prominent land habitats at this time, consisting of low-lying swampy areas with rivers flowing from higher, drier land. It was both an efficient swimmer and a landlubber, and would have spent time in both environments to exploit the wide range of food sources. Among the animals that lived alongside were lobe-finned fish like Streptococcus strepsodus could have reached similar length to Ankylosaurus at around 3.5 meters, 11.5 feet, but juveniles would have slightly been prey. It was shown to have been relatively slow-witted, much like modern-day amphibians such as frogs and newts, taking its time catching and swallowing the juvenile fish. They were shown congregating in large numbers to the rest of the sand banks and were probably quite tolerant of each other, a behavior commonly seen in crocodilians today. Due to having similar lifestyle as crocodiles, it is possible for Ankylosaurus to have ambushed prey at the water's edge or pursue it with speed below the surface. Moderately long facial region suggests that the creature was a piscivore, with fish comprising the bulk of its diet. Most amblyomyrmes were long-bodied and anguilliform in shape, more suited to an aquatic lifestyle, although Ankylosaurus may have been more terrestrial